Assalamu alaikum, beautiful viewers. Just to remind you again, I am Adama Kalilu Balde, TV presenter of Africans Media TV. I am here with an amazing journalist who is well noted as a news anchor at QTV. I can say she's my boss by the name Juldeh Njie, and then an anchor of this morning program which is trending all over the country and across the globe. She's hardworking, she's a bigger journalist. So she's here today as a chief guest of honor at a graduation of Sintubalia of a school. So I would like to have one or two questions with her because I feel that she is busy. You all know Juldeh is tied up and she is always busy. So I have to grab her to at least talk to me what she feel about the day. It's a pleasure to have you, Juldeh.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate this. Really, I must say, no, you're the boss.
No, she's the boss. She's the boss. Anyway, Juldeh, if I may ask you, as a young lady, I also believe you are an educationist because you inspired me a lot. I always follow you, you know, on this morning. So, and I will be like my mom. Ooh, look at this young lady. I wish to be like her. But mashallah, today I am so lucky, and it's an honor, a great honor to have her on my show today. Juldeh, as a young lady, how do you feel about the graduation?
Actually, I must say I am so excited about the whole thing. When Mr. Sham when he contacted me about the graduation, I was like, okay, why me out of all the people in this country? But then again, it makes it's about the small things that really makes you really stand out as far as education is concerned. It goes to show that whatever you're doing, you should be consistent, you should be persistent, but most importantly, you should be determined in what you're doing. It doesn't really matter how young you are or how old you are. I think that all of us are determined are destined to have great things. We all are great in our own individual ways. We just have to know your niche and get perfected. I think really. So for the graduation, I must say that I'm excited and I'm really grateful to be the guest of honor for this graduation. And I must say I am inspired by these youngsters. They have a lot of talent within them. You know, they just need guidance from each and every one of us. Building this country requires the concerted effort of all of us, individually, at the community level, at the school level, even us as journalists, we have a role to play as far as shaping that next generation is concerned. So I am really excited and I am really impressed with how far the school has gone, from extracurricular activities to poetry to dancing, to all of these. And I think skills acquisition is very, very important. Education does not stop at the four corners of the classroom. And I always encourage people, try as much as possible to engage yourselves in other things aside from the, everyday normal classroom activity. And I think that is what we have seen here in today's graduation, because I've seen all these youngsters into drama. I am so excited to know that they know so well about their history, because really, like I said earlier, it's the biggest enemy right now that we are confronted with as young people is about the mindset. So we need to decolonize the mindset as young Gambians to know that we have our values, we have our cultures, we have our traditions that we should really value, that we should really nurture and preserve. We should not be carried away by the Western, ideologies and all of that. So I'm excited really, and this means a lot.
Thank you so much, Juldeh. And then my final question for this edition with you will be like, what is your view of point when it comes to because you are a media personality, it's a long journey before you reach to this level. You know how hard it is. But your viewpoint, what are you going to tell me about what the journalists really are, encountering in this country?
That's a question that I always like to answer. Trust me. Journalism and journalists are going through a lot, but thank God, just to set the record straight, it's not like the previous regime. the previous regime where you have all these draconian media laws which is restricting journalists. We've seen journalists arrested, we've seen some of them tortured, some of them disappeared, and we've seen all of that happening in the Gambian media landscape. But since the advent of this new government, we just have seen few cases of assault happening, between journalists and the members of the security forces. So, and you can see to some extent there is that level of freedom of expression from the media, and they are allowed to really do their work as it should be. That is why, if you look at it from 2017 to date, you see that there is a lot of new media coming up, a lot of multimedia coming, a lot of journalists are, joining the field. Exactly, compared to the previous years. And right now, you can't count the number of media houses in this country, from radio, from online television, from mainstream media, from newspaper. You can't really count the number of journalists and journalism institutions in this country. So that goes to show that we have really achieved a lot of things as far as journalism is concerned. But that goes to say that it is without challenges. The main challenge that journalists are confronted with, it's not only unique to journalism but to all sectors of the society. That is the underpayment of journalists. Their wages are so small, and I think that is the main reason why so many of these senior journalists are shifting from the normal journalism to become communication officers and PR officers. That is what we are saying, and it's not really encouraging to see some of these very good journalists, some of the senior journalists who are supposed to train these youngsters to be very good journalists, to perfect their craft, leaving the trade to communications and PR. I'm not saying it's not a good thing, but at least we will want to maintain some of these great journalists in the media landscape. Another issue that journalists are confronted with, I think it's about sexual harassment, and that one affects the female gender. DPU recently they did a survey and they realized that over 60% of female journalists in the press union actually have history of harassment in the workplaces. Some of them, you will see some of them tell you, okay, they will not be given positions in the newsroom because they are women, not because they are not capable of executing the job, but because of their gender. And I think that it's something that we really need to work on, as not just the media fraternity, but also as a country. We've seen a huge gender gap as far as that is concerned, and that goes to all levels, from the executive level, from the National Assembly level, down to the schools, and everywhere we've seen that there is a huge gender gap as far as that is concerned. So these are the few issues that journalists are confronted with. And finally, just to say that it's true that the Barrow-led administration have made it, clear. They have made commitments that, they will allow the media to strive. That they will not suppress freedom of expression and speech. But it is important to note that the draconian media laws that were there during President Yahya Jammeh's time are still there in our books. So long as those laws are there, politicians are always politicians. They can always use those laws against journalists. And we see that there is recently the Access to Information Act, which is very good. And recently, we've seen the appointment of the commissioners that are going to man this commission, which is the Access to Information, law, which is all good. But so long as these media laws are there, it will really curtail journalists and it can really suppress their work.
Thank you very much for those amazing and inspiring words, Juldeh Njie. Well, just to remind you again, that's Juldeh Njie of QTV. It's an honor to have you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.